Hey, it's Jim from the Woodworking Corner. My desk cabinet doors need some adjusting. I'm not going to be able to do any more adjusting to the hinges. And the reason for that is this shelf over here started to bow. And by that bowing has caused the doors to be out of whack. So my only solution is, rather than doing anything to the hinges, which I can't do anymore, is to do something about the doors themselves. Luckily, I have just the right jig for that, and it won't take much time at all. I built this desk back in 2020. The inspiration for this desk came from a pin I saw on Pinterest. I thought it looked cool, and I did the color scheme, so I figured I'd build one for myself. It also looked like there'd be plenty of room for storage, and plenty of room on the desktop for me to do some work. And though I made this desk way before I started the channel, here's some pictures of the build itself. Over time, I added this shelf in my Cricut Maker, and I built some cubbies in here for my supplies. Yes, occasionally I add some Cricut designs to my woodworking projects, but I digress. Over time, the bow in the shelf had gotten worse, and it makes those doors impossible to close. So before we go into fixing the doors, let's talk about the structure of these cabinets. I noticed when I was looking at the pin on Pinterest about these cabinets that these are actually European cabinets, or European style cabinets. And the meaning behind that is that European cabinets do not have a face frame. So this is no face frame, it's just wood on here. Where a traditional American style cabinet has a face frame around it.
If you're American in the living room, what are you in the bathroom? European!
This allows actually for more space to be able to put stuff in and out without having a frame. But just to show you the difference, so this is frameless. Let me show you what the American style looks like. Like the ones I made here, or the ones I made like this, or like the ones I made here in the garage. If this cabinet had a face frame on it, there'd be no way I'd be able to fit this printer inside. Having a cabinet that doesn't have a face frame actually means that the cabinet has a little bit more racking side to side. It's not as sturdy as one that had a face frame around it. So another thing to consider when you're doing this, now you need to buy the right type of hinge for these type of doors. European and American style cabinets, basically the doors all work the same way. You could have, with this, you could have a full overlay, which means that the door would extend to the end of the faceless board right here, if you want to call it the faceless frame. So a full overlay would come here. Partial overlay would be part of this board would be hidden. And then an inset, which is what this one is, the door actually sits inside of the cabinet itself. So both American style cabinets and European style cabinets both have doors that the option are both the same, like all three options for either cabinet. You just have to make sure you get the right hinge for each one. The hinges that I used here, I got them on Amazon. The brand is Hassam. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I will definitely have a link down in the description below for the hinges I got. You can see in the diagram how the different types of hinges work, and you got to make sure you get the right ones for the right job. To fix that, I'm taking the doors down and trimming part of the bottom off. First things first, I'm going to mark off the starting point of where I need to trim off the doors. Next, I'm removing the doors. Then I'm going to bring them into the garage. I'm scribing a line on the doors and then attaching some double-sided tape. Using a straight board like this, I am attaching it to the door and aligning it with my line. Next, I will be using these two jigs that I made. I will link those videos in the description below. I first made this fence to be an extension of the existing fence. Then I added these two inserts so I can add this jig, or commonly known as an L fence or a tapering jig. Setting up the table saw is pretty easy. You make sure the L fence is higher than the saw blade but not higher than your straight board. Once all set, all there is to do is trim the bottom of each door. Then we can install the door and test it for fit. All that is left to do is add some paint to the bottom of the door. Sometimes our projects need a little tweaking over time, and luckily this one wasn't that hard to deal with. Let me know if you face some similar situations in your past projects. Thanks for watching.